Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Tax season is here. Today, I'm walking you through a step-by-step tutorial on using Wealthsimple Tax to prepare your 2025 tax return. By the end of this video, you will have the confidence to file your own taxes accurately and efficiently. Wealthsimple Tax has different versions. The basic version is free. They call this the pay what you want version, but you can enter zero to use this for free. There are many CRA certified software. Some are free, some are not, and you can choose depending on your specific needs. Whether you have a simple T4 or a more complex situation like self employment. It is important to review your notice of assessment from the previous year. It tells you what carry forward amounts you have available, such as unused tuition amounts, RRSP contribution limit, etc. Make sure you have all your tax slips ready, such as T4, T3, T5. You may also have receipts for medical expenses, donations, childcare expenses, etc. It is very important to keep all of your supporting documents for at least 6 years. One of the biggest changes this year is the reduction of the federal tax rate on the first bracket, which dropped it from 15% down to 14%. Because this was implemented mid year, the effective rate for 2025 is 14.5%, while Simple Tax will calculate this for you automatically. Alright, let's start our 2025 tax return.
The first step is to log in your Wealthsimple Tax. If you don't have an account, you'll have to create a new account. After you log in, you can create a new file for the 2025 tax year. I already created a file, so I'm just going to open the 2025 file. You just have to go through the questions one by one in order to prepare your tax return. First, you need to enter your personal information. For the CRA Autofill My Return, if you have a CRA My Account, this optional function allows you to download the information that the CRA has available, so that you don't have to enter all the information manually. If you are using this function, it is still important to check the information with your supporting documents just to make sure that all the information is downloaded properly and completely. The net file access code is an 8-character code located on your notice of assessment for the previous tax year. It is intended to be used as an extra level of security. If this is the first time you file your tax return, you don't have to enter this. This field is optional. Next, enter your mailing address and phone number, and confirm whether you have a non-Canadian mailing address. The next question is, were you a Canadian resident for all of 2025? I'm going to choose yes. If you choose no, there will be another question. Did you become a resident of Canada, immigrate for income tax purposes in 2025? This question is related to residency status for income tax purposes. Generally, a newcomer becomes a resident of Canada for income tax purposes when they establish significant residential ties in Canada. If you become a resident of Canada for income tax purposes in 2025, you need to provide additional information, such as your date of entry and your income earned while you were a non-resident. The income earned as a non-resident before moving to Canada is non-taxable, except for income you received from Canadian source. Income earned as a non-resident is required to calculate certain benefits and credits. If you are not sure about your residency status for income tax purposes, I would recommend you to consult with a professional or contact the CRA. Next, enter your province or territory of residence on December 31st, 2025. If your province or territory of residence has changed it in 2025, you have to enter the date of your move. Confirm whether your home address is the same as your mailing address, and specify which province or territory you currently live in. Next, specify your marital status. and whether you want to prepare your tax returns together if you have a spouse or common law partner, whether your marital status has changed in 2025, and whether you have any dependents. There are benefits for preparing your tax return and your spouse or common law partner's tax return together because it will be easier to optimize the tax credits. At the end of the process, the software will generate two separate tax returns, and you have to file those separately. Next, answer some CRA questions. Answer all the questions and scroll down. For the question, did you own or hold specified foreign property, where the total cost amount of all such property at any time in the year was more than 100,000 Canadian dollars in 2025? If your answer to this question is yes or you're not sure, you should consult with a professional. This is because the rules for foreign property T1135 reporting are very complex. Answer all the questions in this session and scroll to the next session. There is a new question in Alberta. Do you authorize the CRA to provide your email address to Alberta Health so that they can send information about organ and tissue donation in Canada? For the email notifications from the CRA, choose whether you prefer to receive your notifications and documents electronically. Next, I'm going to go to the spouse or common law partner session and answer the questions. After we enter the basic information, now it is time to enter the information based on your tax slips and supporting documents. To find and add tax forms, deductions, or credits, you can go to Manage Tax Forms and type the name in the search box. Alternatively, you can use the navigation panel on the left to go to the tax form if you have already set it up. Let's add a T4. You need to enter all the information as per your T4 tax slip, such as employer's name, employment income, province or territory of employment, CPP contributions, EI contributions, income tax deducted, etc. Once you are done entering all the information, double check just to make sure that you enter everything accurately. If you have more than one T4, you can click Add another T4. Next, we'll add a T5. Enter the information here as per your T5 tax slip. I earned interest income. Interest income is reported in box 13. If this is a joint account, you have to put in the percentage you're entitled to. If you have more than one T5, click Add another T5. Next, we'll look at donations. Choose the recipient. Enter a description and the donation amount. If you have any unused donations that were carried forward from previous years, you can enter it here as well. If you donated any capital or depreciable property in 2025, you can specify it here as well. Next, we'll look at medical expenses. To qualify for the medical expenses tax credit, generally, your medical expenses must be more than the lesser of 3% of your 2025 net income, or $2,834. In the medical expense section, specify the person who incurred the expense, enter a description, choose the type of expense, and enter the amount of expense. If you have more than one expense, click Add another expense. Next, we will enter the RRSP information. For the RRSP, you have to enter your deduction limit for 2025. You can find this information on your 2024 Notice of Assessment. My deduction limit was $3,000, and the contribution that I made in 2025 was also $3,000. Choose the type of the RRSP contribution, enter a description and amount. You can choose whether to use all of your RRSP deduction in 2025 or save all or some to future years. Let's look at tuition. Enter the information based on your T2202 slip. For the Canada Training Credit, you can find your Canada Training Credit limit on your previous year's Notice of Assessment and in your CRA My account. You receive a T5008 tax slip if you sold investments such as stocks and mutual funds in a non-registered account. You need to keep track of the adjusted cost base of each investment so that you can properly report the information. Consult your financial advisor if you are not sure. If you have a spouse or common law partner and you would like to prepare your tax returns together, you can enter their information. The questions are basically the same, such as identification, address, CRA questions, etc. And then you just need to enter any tax slips or receipt or supporting documents that they have in their profile. Once you've entered all the tax slips and information, click Review and Optimize to see if there are any warnings or suggestions that we need to address. The software optimizes the tax credits for you. If you want to override some of the allocations of the tax credits, you can manually adjust the numbers in the Optimizations section. Review the information to ensure everything has been entered correctly. Based on the information entered, the software calculates the refund or balance owing. You can save a copy of your tax return for your records. When you are ready to file your tax return, click Submit Tax Return. Wealthsimple Tax has different versions. The basic version is free. They call this the Pay What You Want version. You can remove the $25 here and enter 0 to use this for free. After you file your tax return, you'll get a confirmation number from the CRA for each tax return you filed. Please keep this for your records. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe, like, and share.